Welcome to Jameson's Repair Shop. Back on the old Ranchero today. I did the rust coating of these parts here. My rust protectant set up. They come out nice. I did the backing plate or the hinge plate for the tailgate, and I didn't show in that last video in this series. I forgot to add this one. This one's done. New bolts and etch primed. But today, for this little project, I have to build a cage for this nut to install on there before I weld that in. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully it goes well. It'll probably take me a couple attempts. Who knows? I have no idea what that looked like, so I'm just going to guess at it. Anything to cage it in, it'll never be seen again. Well, not in my lifetime probably. And that'll be it. So we'll see how it goes. All right, this is what I got so far. I bent a piece, got a hole in it. Right now, I'm going to open this hole up into the rectangle, the shape of that rectangle, to give it some movement. It'll be in here, like this. This is how it'll go. This will have room to slide back and forth in a slot that fits this. It'll have a little bit of movement each way, not a lot, but a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch each way. And then I'm going to bring these sides up, just up flush. Maybe I'll wrap it down into there, part of it, but these sides will come up and wrap onto this. I have to leave room to weld it on, so I haven't figured that one out yet. So that's where I'm at with it. I'll get back to you when I have a new development. Okay, got the cage nut built right here. Lots enough play in it to move around, so the pointy end of the bolt will find it without it getting away on us, on a fellow. So what I'm going to do, oh yeah, I got it copper coated, weld through primer copper, top and bottom here. And the rest will be primed when the part's primed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the piece in, and I got to line this up under the spot welder tongs. And I have reference marks to get it centered, the bracket, not the bolt will float. And let's just see, I'm trying to do it so you can see. And I can't get my hand around the whole thing, so I'm going to have to wiggle in. I'm going to put one right in the middle. I might put 3 on this. I was only going to do 2, but I think I'll put 3 on just to hold it. There's one. Let's see what happens. Lined up, yeah. So that one's done. Let's go to the other side. If I can get in the other side, I can come over the top like that. I can get in over there. All right, let's try that. Can you see? That one's there. Now while I'm back there, I'm going to give it another couple. Hopefully well actually, I wonder if maybe 2 is enough, because if I have to take that back off for some reason, I don't want it. I'm going to leave it at 2 for now until I fit it in. So there it is. It's not that loose in there, but I can pry up the caps. I'm going to have to loosen the top a bit to get it to rattle around. Since I cinched it down, it's a little snug up in here now. But anyway, that's the outfit. I don't think it needs more than 2. Anyway, great. That's one more part done. Cage nut. Well, there's that patch panel. I only primed the inside. The nuts on it, the inside's primed. The outside I'll prime when I do. There's no point wasting primer. I got a lot of work to do yet. There's the nut. I loosened it up some. So some free movement there. So that's loose. I'm going to seam seal inside. Once I weld this in, I'll still have access before I put the valance front on. But I'll seam seal all the places I can get at that I welded, just to give it a little extra protection. But next step now is to weld this in. Okay, while we're in the mood for our spot welding, I finished up the torsion spring plate. I bead blasted it, primed it. I drilled the holes. I put the bolts I'm going to use in it. I don't know if you can see that. I'll make sure it's down where you can see it. Sorry. New bolts, and then I make sure it's lined up properly. So it's got a coat of weld-through primer on it. And I'm going to put 3 spot welds in this. So we'll see how it goes. I want to stay clear of the, I don't want to ruin those new bolts, but I have lots of them. But it doesn't mean you want to ruin them. So let's go for it. I can't remember where the original spot welds were. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to put one right there. It's in far enough. So let's do it. All right, here we go. That metal's thick. Took a lot. But she's in there, that one. All right, I'm going to see if I can come over here and I'll do one in there. All right, here we go. That's good and hot. 2. One more. Just one more between the 2 lower bolts. Right here. Alrighty. Go for it. That's her. They won't come off. I'll get these bolts out. Or just back off a little bit. Alright. Well, oh sorry, I'm out of the camera maybe. That's it. Spot welded on. I don't think that's going to fall off on me. And I did a little more dressing of this. I kept this, but I moved it in some. I just slit that and brought it in. Needs a little bit more welding and all that stuff. But again, the back I'm leaving. I'm not going to do much cleanup on the back. I want to keep it strong, but I will seam seal all this before I put it on the car. Because why not? I won't be able to get at it again after. I'm gonna bead blast the whole thing, get rid of all this surface rust, inside out, and then I'll prime it with self-etching primer, and then I'll once I'm done any grinding or anything, I'll seam seal any spots. And I mean, that's better than what would have been done from the factory. Not that we're trying to restore it to the factory. This is just to get all the rust spots fixed up and make it look good. I don't want it to look like crap. All right, so there is panel number 2 with the torsion spring bolt bracket, whatever you want to call it, back on there. All right, an update on the Ranchero rear valance left side work. I had that piece that I made, had the nut plate on it, and I have it welded in now. You can see in there. I'm not going to grind those welds. I'm going to seam seal over them. I'm not going to go underneath and show you. It's just welding. It looks all about the same. I put another piece in here, a new ledger for this to sit on. And I want to talk about this a little bit. I had to split it here. So this is a good example of trying to do too much at once. So I would have been better off to leave this flat right here, terminate it right at this, because it has to have a bit of a flange on right here, because about an inch flange, and just have the flange down to the base, and then build this separate. So it would have been simpler, because now I have to go back and rework it. So that would have been fine. I'm going to work with what I have there, but when you're building these panels, in my mind, for myself, building these panels, yeah, don't try to do too much at once. And now, next is I have this piece built. I have the valance piece built, as I have shown already, but I want to rebuild this section right here. So then I can start then I'll have to do this one. But I want this built and ready to go on before I tear this one apart. And then what I'm gonna do here, because I'm replacing this piece, let me see it now, I'm replacing this piece here all the way back as far as the wheel well actually, and over to this seam that I showed you before in earlier videos. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna not fix this piece right here, this little section, because I'm gonna come around here with the new panel. This is all good metal here, but I will fix this flange over to here and then down, because this flange on the old one is not too far off. If you go on the other side, I looked on the other side, and this flange just arches down like that and terminates down around here. It doesn't go very far down. Seems like a lot of these, this one and I believe this one, terminate just in this area here, but I'll double check it. So yeah, that's the update, and I'm going to get at this one, and I'll do an update when that's in. Alright, I thought I'd take a piece of paper and record where these holes were on this piece, because I'll be cutting out where that line from here down to the corner. And I wanted to just make it easy for myself so I don't lose track of where these holes are. I know I have the backing plate with the bolt diagram in it, or bolt layout, but I just thought, well, I'll take a minute to do it. Alright, that's my update. Alright, I've been working on this section here. I cut the old piece out, and I got a new piece up there, so it's almost formed. I had to put a couple of clecos in to hold this area all together, because it was starting to get pretty floppy and beyond what I'm comfortable with floppiness in a quarter panel area. But I am going to install the tailgate to make sure that the body lines or gaps are okay before I weld it together. But anyway, what I'm doing is I needed to get this contour right here, and it's still not 100%. It's good on the top. It's just a little off in the bottom. So what I've been doing, sorry, running around here too quick. So I've been using this tire iron, and I've just been tapping it around the tire iron. So that's all I've been doing. I'll keep doing that till I get it right. Alright, just thought you'd like to know. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that'll fit in there nicely. I just want to say, when you're drilling holes and cutting stuff and you can get your hand in behind like this, just be careful where you're cutting and drilling. You could put a hole in your hand pretty quick or cut it. I didn't do it to me, but I'm just a tip. Anybody that's starting out may not think of that, but it is something you have to be aware of. Alright, I got the plate on, and now I'm just transferring these two. These two are already here. You can see the edge of the old hole right there. So I'm just going to rough the center like that, put a mark, and this is the alignment hole. Well, there we go. And I'm going to do these spot weld marks. Not that it matters a lot, but it just gives me a rough idea. That one's right there. That old hole is still up in there, right there. That's the old hole. That's the old hole. I'll do these ones. I don't know if you can see the light's right. I'm standing right in front of the light. So this is where the spot welds used to be. There. Alright, I'll drill those holes out, and they'll be golden. Okay, there it is. A little more grinding to do. Some tough second or third pass, likely on the welding. That's part of the structure, so I want it strong. I'll try to weld the backside if possible. I should be able to get in there enough to do a fairly decent job, but I won't grind it. And then the backside will have to be treated with rust, sanded, treated with rust treatment, and then I'll spot weld I'll fill those old spot weld holes up. I'll weld them in, and then I'll re-spot weld the plate on. Alright. Okay, she's coming along. I just put in the bed bottom lip replacement, this area right here. And I have that welded in, like I mentioned before. And yeah, so she's coming. So I primed the back side of that, and so it's all good. So when I sandwich it all in there together, it'll be fine. Probably have to weld that from the back, I'm sure. So there we go.